Welcome to the closing party of the PR Festival, and I've got some fantastic guests tonight. It's really exciting. They all have something in common. Dun dun dun. What are you? You're all authors.
Okay.
Hold up them books. Brilliant. Look at that. So, Julie, what's your book called and what's it about?
My book is called Intentional Happiness, the life-changing guide to being happy and staying happy. And it's a step-by-step guide taking you through how to be happy in your life.
Fantastic. We all need a bit of happiness. And Carolyn, the most recent author amongst you. I can't say us because I'm not an author yet. So tell us about your books.
So I've got two, but my full solo book is from a place called Shame, and it's a true story of my teens and 20s and what I went through and how I came out the other side to help other people. And then in October, just a month ago, I was chapter 1 in this beautiful book by another one of the members of the PR group here.
Yes, and that, you know, your chapter, I had to reach for the tissues. Cassie said, bring some tissues. And it's like, I was having to dampen my eyes when I was reading it. So thank you for sharing that. And Wendy, tell us about your book, Lady with the Glasses On, the Shades.
Yes, I'm in festival mode. So my book is called How to Recover from Pet Loss. I'm a pet bereavement counsellor, also known as the Pet Loss Lady. And my book was written during lockdown with my accountability buddy, Julie Leonard of Julie Leonard Coaching. So yes, and she's up there somewhere.
Point, isn't it? Anyway.
So yes, we wrote our books together, and yeah, I've been absolutely blown away by the success that my book has had, in no small part down to your good self, Amanda.
Oh, well, that is fantastic. Thank you very much. But actually, before we hear your amazing stories, I've got to announce the prize winners of these beautiful books. My mum's written loads of books. I'm yet to write a book. It's World Beads. She's a bead expert, and she wrote this back in the 1990s. It's a beautiful coffee table book. Now, this is in no way rigged, everybody. However, somebody on this call is winning a book. And I've gone to Facebook Insights to actually see who is. So 2 people are winning books for taking part, doing the most participation with the whole PR festival. So the top engaging person, or the person who contributed most, is dun dun dun, Carolyn Parker.
Yay!
So you get
Thank you.
a signed copy. I thought my mum had signed them. So you'll have that for, you know, put that in the post to you. The other person to win this book for the most engagement is Caroline from Raise the Bar. So if you are watching tonight, Caroline, this book also will be winging its way over to you. Then we have the final prize is for somebody who shared and shared and shared, okay, the festival. And I don't know whether Hella is watching. So Hella, this is yours. And I'll bring it along when I come to your Christmas lunch. So thank you, everybody, for all your participation and sharation of the Nation of Emancipation. So that is fantastic. So that's that. I've told you about the PR Mastery. The doors are open, only for a short time, and then all the incredible bonuses will be gone by Sunday. So if you want a bit of magic that these ladies are going to be telling you about tonight, get your roller skates on and we can help you check your press kits. Wendy, I remember checking your press kit all those months ago, and she was complaining, and she was going, oh my God, I don't like this. And I was giving her the tough love, and she was groaning, and then suddenly she gets into NBC, but I won't spoil where you got into. So we do press kit checks. You write a press release, we check it for you. You have a press release template, so you're going to have loads of help. Every single week you can have the opportunity to have a question answered. We do a live AMA, Ask Me Anything. We drop in daily PR opportunities, and often, Wendy, I see you tagging, commenting and saying thank you, I'm about to use it. I know also you do your 7 minutes a day on your own, but these are sometimes we see other ones for you. So you'll get daily PR opportunities. We have the masterclasses, and we have the Facebook group where you can do lots of amazing networking. And yeah, so it's just basically get a wiggle on. If you want to have a phone call, if you're unsure about joining, give me a quick call, or go to amandapr.com/apply and book a call, and I'll see whether it's the right fit for you. So we've done the prizes, we've done that, we've done the calls. Now I want to ask Julie Leonard, before you started in the PR Mastery, basically, why did you join? What was your biggest challenge in terms of getting publicity? What was your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge was I had absolutely no idea what to do, basically. So I'd written this book. So Wendy and I are very good friends for a long time, and we wrote the book together. And then she'd come across you and said, "Hey, I've met this woman that wears a lot of leopard print. You could totally hang out with her, and she's really good." And so I joined your PR festival, and I joined the Mastery afterwards. But it was something I really wanted to do. I'd written a book. I'd started doing lots of podcasts and summits, but I really wanted to get into press. And my goal was to really position myself as an expert, as a happiness expert. But I didn't know what you would do. How do you find people? How do you contact the press? And so I came in with zero knowledge.
Well, she walked away. I mean, you're going to hear in a minute what the hell she's achieving. I mean, OMFG. But I want to then go to Carolyn. So what did you struggle with most in terms of, seeking publicity for yourself?
I tried doing things on social media, and I just really wasn't getting very far. It seemed to be an awful lot of do for not a lot of return. And again, I have a friend who published a book, Anita, who joined yourself and was saying how wonderful it was. And then I did the PR festival, and I thought, oh, yes, this lady knows what she's talking about. And so I'm just at the beginning of my journey. So, but already making steps forward.
Yeah, well, you'll soon become a veteran because you've already got your publicity. You've already managed to get that. And Wendy, you were at the very beginning when it used to be called the PR Club. It's now the Mastery because you're all mistresses and masters of getting your own publicity. So Wendy, why did you want to what was your biggest challenge rather in terms of getting press coverage?
My biggest challenge was being heard and being seen, because what I do is very niche and not a lot of people are very interested in it unless it's happened to them. And a lot of people are quite dismissive of pet bereavement. So I really wanted to share my message. So really getting visible was my biggest challenge, because, when people don't really have a passion for it the same way that you do, it's very difficult to get in front of them. But with your help, I managed to sort of smash through those barriers.
Oh, and actually, thank you. And all of you are all you all give your clients transformations. You're all really essential for the people reading your books, the life-changing things. I mean, Carolyn, people have, read your book because you were adopted. And I learned something I didn't realize, in your first pages of your book. It's literally, you're saying, you're a baby and you're taken away from your mum. And I didn't know the impact that would have, it had on you later on in your life. So your book will be helping people who've got friends who are adopted, people who are adopted. And so it's a life-changing book. Yeah. And Julie, you help people become more happy or become happy, And then all of us, how many, Wendy, you've got to have this, I didn't prep you for this. What is the statistic of pet owners? Or you can say dog owners. I need a statistic, please, because that's what journalists love. In the UK, do you know that figure or not?
I used to know it off the top of my head, but I've not been asked for quite a while. But I think there's over 2 million dogs. I think I'm sure it's way more than that.
Yeah.
But there was a huge spike in sales of pets during the pandemic. So everything has just increased.
Yeah.
And I think it's something like it's over half the households in the UK have a pet of some sort or other.
So you could really be selling 30 million books. Yeah. Well, hopefully
would be
not all
nice.
at the same time, but yes. Yes. But no, it's really helpful. And everybody knows somebody who sadly has, he's lost a dog. So, Carolyn, what is your biggest goal for PR? Some people say Oprah, some people say Red Magazine. What would you love to appear on?
I would love to, yes, Lorraine show is my number one. I would just love to be on that. And This Morning, and the women's magazines. But I've already done my first pitch to Lorraine show, and just places where they talk about real life issues, really. So I'm trying to niche down exactly where to go, because there's just so many of them out there, so many women's magazines. Thinking the ones that are specific for me. So I'm at that stage at the moment.
Okay, so we're just going to say your biggest, fattest PR goal is going to be being on TV.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Wendy Andrew, what's your big one? I mean, you've had massive successes, but it's like an Olympian. You've won gold. You now need to do the double, the triple. So what's your triple that you want then?
Well, I thank you very much. I suppose in a way the same as Carolyn, because when I started my PR journey, I didn't even think for a second that was even a possibility to end up on television. But now it's a real possibility, because I've been in newspapers, I've been in magazines, been in podcasts, on the radio. So why not? That's the next challenge, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so PR vision board for next year. I want to see that you're on, local or national TV.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, good, excellent. Is there a day for National Pet Loss Day? Is there a day for that? Because they normally have a day for everything.
Yes, there's a couple. Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day is in August. So I always kind of make a big fuss about that, so that people feel validated.
Brilliant. Well, okay. So, right. And Julie, we know you've had a lot of PR successes, but what would be your ultimate OMG goal to achieve?
I've kind of got two. Is that okay?
Yeah,
it's kind of changed since we started. But yeah, I did always want to be in a magazine. And I think to really niche it down, I've been writing for Platinum, and I'd love to be have a regular column. I'd love to have, the Happiness Evangelist column.
Amazing.
There, I think a big gap in that sort of 50 plus, being 50 plus myself. I think there's a big gap in
50 plus?
51.
Oh, I'm just 1 year older than you. Yes, so that's the magazine for us. What a great magazine.
It is, but I think there's a lot of it could be a lot more modern how we approach women in their 50s, and much more realistic and relatable. And I think it's a big area. So I'd love to do that. And then I've been talking to Wendy. I'd love to ultimately have my own TV show for interview rock stars about what makes them happy.
Oh my God.
That's what I would love more than anything.
Yeah.
Dressed similar to Wendy while I do it, I think.
Yeah. But your golden nugget, when I spoke to you, I remember you telling me that you go to rock concerts, don't you?
Which is why my book is called, the tagline is How to Rock Your Life.
There you go.
So yeah, I love rock music. It makes me happy, but I'm fascinated by, people being famous and how that affects their happiness. It sounds like everything must be amazing, but it's not. And I would love to interview people about that.
Wow, gosh, somebody's saying it sounds amazing. It really does sound amazing. So that sounds amazing. Okay, will you carry on then, Julie? We need to see your magazine rack. I mean, we're waiting too long to see this. Show us the actual rack.
Oh gosh, it's down here, yeah. So I have I keep a nice little file of all magazines and stuff in it.
God.
And I mean, a lot of the stuff is online, so I've been able to be the expert, that voice of, Happiness Evangelist or Life Coach Julie Leonard says, all those parts.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of those, which were Glamour, Yahoo, Huffington Post, all the big Thrive Global. I think one of the first ones actually was I ended up in Women's Own. Never thought I'd be in Women's Own with Richard and Judy. But actually, it was that's almost a year, 2 years ago. Because, I wrote all about the debate about why fake Christmas trees are better than real ones. So that's how I ended up in that. And that was the first time I walked in. I live in Germany, and I was coming home to Scotland to visit Wendy. And I stopped off at Gatwick, and there I was in W.H. Smith, and I picked up the magazine and my picture was in it, and that was the first time, and that was amazing.
Yeah, but actually, it's a red top. It's a glossy magazine red top, and we shouldn't disparage them because people of all colours and creeds and everything else read those publications. I mean, my guilty secret, I love The Sun on Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's great. So if you can help and reach people further and further afield, it doesn't just have to be Vogue and Tatler and all, the posh ones, does it?
And wasn't that something I said as well? Like, I mean, the rest of the stuff I've done is probably quite related to being a coach and about happiness and stress and all these things. But, you always taught us as well that, you can also tag on to lots of different things. So I often write about being like an older mom. That's quite a big hot topic. And I had my child when I was 43. So that's a big one. This was about, fake versus real Christmas trees. But everything you do, you get a link to your business, so it's huge exposure.
Yeah,
and then
you've got a fantastic media page as well on your website, and Julie has done it in the totally right way. And you do all your links to your articles, so we can all see.
Yeah, they're all in there. And then I was able to connect with a pitch for a lovely woman called Bibi Lynch, and she does articles for Platinum, and so I got to write in there, and it's really great because you get to be a guest expert at the front, and not even that, but they allowed me to kind of actually write an actual column as well.
Wow.
So with my points. And then that went so well that she asked me to do another one and another one. So I got like 3 different
Go on, flash them up, please. We need evidence. I don't believe you.
So here's one. I think, what did we write about? That was how to deal with mean girls, the sort of phenomenon of mean girls and how women treat each other. So that was fascinating.
Interesting.
And then, this one was all about living with the 3 Ps, was about like property, pension, and partner. And so I wrote about that.
Show us the front covers.
And then, sorry, I can't do the backwards.
Yeah, we can see. That's perfect. Yes.
Yeah, and then I got another column, and then I can't remember what the third one was. I've got another one in here as well. So I did another one. Can't remember what that one was now. So I got like 3 of those, which was just really nice. And I really like it.
It's because Julie would have been fast. She would have been reliable, quality writing. So when pitching to the press, you have to literally spin on a sixpence, because a big complaint that that journalists have of PR agencies is that they take so long. PR agents take so long. The reason is because they're dealing with so many other different clients. But when you are PRing you're there and you're hot on it. You're literally there to go, okay, yes, I'm ready. I can write, I can comment, call me up. Okay. That's really important. That's why you'd been requested, because
go really fast. And then I think, if you do a good job and they like you, then what's come out is that you get repeat work, but they'll keep you on file, because it's much easier for them just to go to you and say, can you do this part now? Can you do this part? And that was great. So we've done those. We did pitch something else. They didn't pick it up, but that's okay. But it's been really good experience, and it's a big step up. So
amazing. That's good. We'll go on to your big fatty in a minute. So Carolyn, tell us about what you have achieved, because you've only started it kind of more recently with your book, but look at the success you've already had.
So what I did was a local paper had an article about the girl that was helping me self-publish my book. So I got in touch with that journalist and mentioned the article that she'd already done on my friend, and she put in this, which is
brilliant.
This is about the
author uses life experience to
get it right.
Brilliant. To inspire chapter. Look at that. Lovely.
So that's in the Harborough Mail, which includes the Lutterworth Mail as well.
Yeah.
So that's quite a good distribution. And then I thought, well, I'll tackle my sometimes it's harder to actually write an article to your really local magazine, because I am so well known in the village, and because my story is so I had to be very vulnerable in sharing my real story. But they put the whole thing in. I got a full page spread apart from the adverts. And this is in the Kibworth Chronicle. And I'll left a bit.
Brilliant. We can see it. Well done.
Yeah, so I was absolutely chuffed to bits, and they put it in word for word. Usually they just, edit it down and just put a tiny bit in, but they put the whole thing in. So that was lovely. So as you say, start local, and often the nationals look at locals as well, don't they?
Exactly. So you don't know, in a few weeks' time, somebody might have filed it thinking, right, I need to have that. I need to talk about the adoption or some adoption process or something like that, and they'll file you. So even if you don't get an instant response, you might do in a few weeks or months' time. So that's really good. So congrats on your new book and reaching how many stars or how many bestseller slots did you get? 5. Look at that. 5. Amazing. So really fantastic there. So Wendy, you have been with me for a wee while,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets more and more every time we speak. So come on, how big's your magazine rack, darling?
There's a bit of a pile going on here. There is Take a Break.
Yes.
There is Take a Break Pets, which I was delighted to get into something a bit specific.
Interrupting you there, Wendy. Why don't you pitch for a column to Take a Break Pets?
I have actually been considering doing that. Yes.
So Hogmanay, let's chink the glasses. Right, you're going to get a column in Take a Break Pets. That's your PR goal.
That's a plan. That's a plan. So also had Chat Magazine. I gave an expert comment in Closer, which really made me laugh because my old boss used to give me a row for reading Closer at my desk. So I sent him a copy. He didn't respond, unsurprisingly.
I think that's great. Yes, you can always share. Brilliant.
Absolutely. And again, like Julie, I went in for something off topic and ended up in Women's Health magazine.
Yeah.
And again, that was something that just really said who I was and gave my business a mention. So it's totally worthwhile, sort of breaking the barriers, so to speak.
And you don't always have to pitch for what your expertise is like. Julie talks about plastic Christmas trees or rock concerts or whatever. As long as you can comment, you've got an intelligent comment or an interesting pithy comment to make, then they want to hear from you.
And because I don't have many children as clients, quite often parenting publications or family-based publications or newspapers are looking for things on how to support children. So, I always, sort of pitch in there as well, because very often the death of a family pet is a child's first experience of death and bereavement. So, it really, it's really important that people handle that in the right way. So I'm happy to facilitate that and help people where I can.
That's really important. Really important. So any more magazines to flash up, or is that your collection? I know you've got a lot online, like BBC Radio. I know you can't flash up a radio, but you've had loads of other broadcasts.
Yes, I was very proud of that one because I went head to head with an agony aunt who'd a very opposing view on pet loss to me. So that felt quite good to, sort of just have a difference of opinion from a so-called expert.
Yes.
Yes, and I think that the host was leaning more towards my side of the debate.
Well, of course, it'll be very measured. I know that for a fact. So, what has been, Julie, your biggest PR success? I mean, we've seen the magazines. I mean, you just told me at the beginning of the call, in the green room, you told me, and it's like, I nearly fell off my chair. Come on. What was it?
So, I think it's important, keep pitching. You don't know if you'll get picked up or not, or if you can. Sometimes you might pitch for something and you might be too late or not be the right fit, but don't be disheartened. So, last week I saw a journal request for comments about gratitude, and that's a huge one of mine. I teach that and practice it, so I jumped on there quickly, but it's there's a lot. I guess Wendy's talking about being really niche. I've got to try and be visible in a market where there's a lot of coaches, and so it's slightly different, trying to sort of stand out. So she said the person came back and said, I'm kind of okay. She actually said you could do a little bit for me, but I'm kind of okay. But I looked at your website, see what you do, and actually I think you'd be a great fit for this one. And I'm writing a series of articles about the pathway to happiness, which I'm like, yeah, hello, happiness
Totally on
evangelist.
brand.
Totally, like that's my life's work.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in contributing? It's for Hello Magazine, so.
I mean,
So
hello.
yeah, I know. I'm like, well, hello, I'll take that, please. Yeah.
God, that is incredible. I
So-
mean, that's amazing. So, wow.
I'm
What-
typing away after this call. I'll be like trying to finish it, meet the deadline.
not with the
But,
whiskey or Baileys, but yeah, no, that is it.
Yeah,
So,
so that's great.
yeah.
So yeah, don't you never know what comes with things, do you? You know, people will recognize you or keep you on file, or you might actually become a better fit for something else. So.
Yeah. And also, when you do your pitches, it's good to kind of put your keywords in the heading, or, you know, because journalists will see it, store it, and then do a search in their inbox. Like I often do a search in my inbox. It's like, okay, right. And then you can find exactly what it is. So be sure you put your keywords in.
And
So,
I always put my website on, obviously.
yeah,
And I often attach my press sheet as well, just
yeah. Your
so
press
that they
kit.
can see that, because then I'm like, well, I'm good for this, but hey, because I've been doing this kind of work for so long, I can really speak to a number of topics. So I always
Yeah.
just add that in anyway, so they can see. And I think when you've got that really professional press kit and you've got some good headshots and stuff, and you can see where you've already been featured, then I think that's really attractive. It kind of elevates your status more as well.
I totally agree. And that's the one of the templates you'll get inside the mastery, which we will check, proofread, send back, say, please amend, come back, and we'll sign it off when it's totally ready. So no, that is really great. So Wendy, if somebody's like on the fence thinking, oh, this PR mastery, shall I or shan't I? What would your words be? And I'm not paying her a fiver or anything. I don't know what she's going to say.
That's always the worry with me, isn't it? You don't know what I'm going to
It's
say.
an honest thought, an honest wee thought.
A wee honest thought. I would say deploy the Nike philosophy and just do it. You know, don't sit on the fence and get splinters. Just do it, because you won't regret it. I was completely allergic to the concept of doing my own PR. I was like a rabbit in the headlights, totally startled by it and thought, this is bamboozling. I'm never going to be able to do this. And then, it's actually, become a lot easier the more that you do it. So, once you get over the kind of initial, this is so out my comfort zone, Amanda is great support. The whole group is a great support. And there's such an incredible ripple effect of doing these PR exercises and getting visible, because you get seen by all different kinds of people. So I would say invest in yourself, invest in your business, and go for it, because it really, really is worth your while. And, as Julie says, the more press coverage you get, the more you're placed as an expert in your field. And I'm kind of, without blowing my own trumpet, I'm a go-to person for a lot of media.
Amazing.
Because it is very niche, and I've now entered the world of academia, because this morning,
oh yes, you got a win.
Yes, a great win. It's not in PR per se, but through doing all the PR work, I was sort of headhunted, if you like, for the Lifting the Lid Festival of Death and Dying. So I spoke at that last year, and I'm speaking again at it this weekend. And a lecturer from Bolton University got in touch because he had seen me at that festival. And the whole reason I was invited to the festival was you. So now I'm collaborating on a research paper about pet bereavement for Bolton University.
Honestly, are we going to then be calling you Dr. Andrew very soon?
I would love that.
Dr. Andrew in the house. Is there a doctor in the house? That'll be Wendy. Amazing. So that is really good. But also, I have been teaching in the masterclasses that PR, yes, it's about podcasts, TEDx talks, getting into printed press, TV, radio. It also is when you're literally in front of an audience that is not your own social media audience. So you could be doing a guest expert slot on a Facebook group with somebody else. doing a talk, doing a keynote speech, and doing what you're going to be doing as the philosopher, Andrew.
It's wild, isn't it? You just don't know what doors are going to open,
Yeah.
but it's an opportunity well worth taking. So I think people would be mad to miss it.
Well, everybody, it's 8 o'clock. It's the witching hour. So if anybody else has got anything else to say amazing about the PR Mastery, I'm sure you have, but we can just say cheers. Thank you very much for joining. And we've got Caroline's champagne because she's celebrating all of her PR wins and her books. Well, look at that. Fantastic. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining. I've really loved doing this festival. I'll do one next year. Don't know where, don't know when.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Someone's asking a question. Is it all free PR? Yes. Okay, girls. Miss that buff. Bust that myth. All right. That's a Spoonerism. Okay. You have not had to pay a penny to get in those magazines. Correct.
All completely free.
If you pay a penny, it's either an advert or, girls, it's an advertorial. There you go. It's an advertorial.
And in fact, I've actually been paid for some of it. I've ended up in stuff over here in Germany. So I wrote for a German magazine, but in English. They have a business English, and I got paid for it. So I actually got paid to write that article. So.
Yeah, so we can actually spin the tables around and get.
So it's not, you don't have to pay for it. It's all completely free. But in fact, you can't even get paid for some of that work as well. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I also got an all expenses paid trip to London for, photo shoots, makeup, hair, wardrobe for the Daily Mail to become part of a go-to squad. So yeah, you just don't know.
Amazing. Well, on that fantastic note, thank you all of you for giving up your evenings. Thank you for watching Father Christmas and everybody else who's watching in the mosh pit. We're closing it down. Very sad to say the festival's over, but it's not the last one. But it is the last one of the year. So thank you, and I'll see you inside the mosh pit. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.